Hello, I'm Birk Schmithusen. I'm a media artist from Leipzig, Germany, dealing with emerging technologies and right now researching about the field of artificial intelligence. I'm here within the framework of EMAP, European Media Art Platform, having a residency here at LABoral, doing the project Speculative Artificial Intelligence, the second experiment that is about the communication between two autonomous AI systems. I call this aesthetic research series Speculative Artificial Intelligence, with a strength on the term speculative, because this whole concept about intelligence in general, it's quite vague and not well defined. So I think between humans we have this understanding of intelligence, that intelligence is something about the ability to understand each other, to learn things and to draw conclusions. And it's somehow associated with human behavior as well. I find it quite interesting that the term intelligence is not really unique defined, and still the science is opening this huge field of artificial intelligence without even proper defining the term intelligence itself properly, because mainly scientists are always asking for precision in their definitions of terms. But the term, as I said, intelligence, artificial intelligence is not properly defined, and still it's like a very big field of research. Since we as humans, we don't have a sense for intelligence, it's hard for us to quantify intelligence. And we are not sure about the concept of intelligence itself. That's why I title my work Speculative Artificial Intelligence. Because we cannot perceive intelligence, we can just speculate about what it is and speculate about it. On the other hand, if we associate intelligence with human behavior, that's what I said at the beginning, then the term artificial intelligence itself gets a little bit absurd, because artificial intelligence is created by computers, and if we bring intelligence together with human behavior, it's very absurd, because computers are no humans. There's no artificial human around. So this whole term is kind of speculative by definition. But because of this, artificial intelligence, I guess, is an invitation to all different kind of researchers and field of research to work together in this field and to speculate together about this topic of artificial intelligence. And I think when different, like for example the arts and the science or different scientific fields, if they work together and break down the boundaries between the different fields, then we altogether can have the possibility to, through speculation, to get some more further in the field of epistemology. So this second experiment that I create here at LABoral is about two independent artificial intelligence systems that I put in communication with each other. And the whole work is about autonomous creativity and the capacity from the artificial intelligence system for empathy, purpose, and intention. In the system, in the experiment, these two systems can communicate with each other through an audiovisual language, through audiovisual translation. So there's system one from the first experiment that I created that can hear sounds and can visualize pictures, abstract forms, shapes. And then there's a second system that's just the opposite. It can see the first system and it can play sounds that can be heard by the first system. So that's the way how these two systems communicate with each other. I wanted to create both systems in kind of this same shape and style and size. So since the first system is this spherical object, I decided for the second system to be an omnidirectional speaker. Omnidirectional means it produces sound into every direction. It's like the first object is visible from all directions. And I wanted to create it from plexiglass because it should be possible to look through, because also the first object it's possible to look through. Yeah, in the experiment and also probably in the exhibition, the both systems will be placed at a distance to each other so that they can see and hear each other, but still the visitors can interact with both systems, so they are able to pass into the field of view of the second system, or they can be heard by the first system. So it's a closed circuit installation between these two systems, but it's still possible for visitors to interact within the communication. To create this whole work here at LABoral, I worked together with the Artificial Intelligence Research Group of the University of Oviedo that helped me in the conceptual part of the work. And I had a really inspirational time with the research group. Like, they gave me some really good input, and we had some nice discussions about the meta theory about communication in the end. And so what I discussed with them, if you think about communication or the abstract concept about communication, there are mainly two things needed. So on the one hand, the two entities have to understand each other, and they have to answer each other. For the understanding, they need to listen to the other one, and they need to create this kind of empathy to get an internal representation of what they heard. And to give an answer, they kind of have to create an intention to give their answer meaning, to not just repeating what they heard, but also to create something new. In very detail, that means that each entity first has to listen to the other entity, wait till the other entity ends its message, recognize that the message is ended, then create an internal representation of the message, and to create an answer. So how does that works in my experiment right now? The system number one, it's trained by pre-composed association between audio and visual. That's how it can create an internal representation of sounds and produce a visual representation. And the system number two, it's trained by kind of standard picture recognition software that is widely used on the web and open source available. So it has the capacity to distinguish between different visual shapes. Either it might be cats or dogs with which they are normally trained, but in my case they can also distinguish between different abstract visual forms. And then they create this kind of abstract representation of what they're seeing in a higher dimension. They create a 512 dimensional vector that is a way above what human can imagine. But I break this down to a 5-dimensional vector, and this 5-dimensional vector can be represented through sound by a synthesizer that is modified by these 5 dimensions. So each system is listening to the other one, is creating an internal representation of the message received, as I explained previously. And then it waits for the other system to finish its message, and then when it has this internal representation, it creates the answer by adding somehow a little bit of an intention to the representation. And the intention is kind of chosen of a range of different moods that I programmed before that can differ the visual representation or can differ the sound. And then they would output the sound or either the visual representation, and then this whole game goes back and forth. And like this, in the exhibition, the both systems end up in an endless communication, creating an endless audiovisual composition that is ever changing and is never the same. And in this way, we as humans, we can really follow and perceive how these neural networks get in communication with each other. And like this, it's a closed circuit installation that is grasping questions of communication, autonomy, and intelligence.